Christian Nielsen and Riley Pence. Let's have a big hand for these guys. We literally created that in the last few days. That's a brand new composition. Think about that. Woo! So the next piece is very exciting and features, I believe, the middle school dance ensemble. This is something that Rachel and Chuck and I were talking about. We thought that would be really fun. You know, one of the things that's amazing about this art school is that they really allow these kids to both be creative but also learn a lot of history. And so we decided, since they were in a chapter dealing with jazz dance, to see what would happen if they did a piece where they were very profoundly reacting to our drummer, Mr. Chuck Palmer. So this piece we call Jazz Roots and Branches, and it's a piece where we really took a journey in a lot of ways through many styles of jazz, and I'm not in it, so I'm gonna enjoy. Rachel Clemson's amazing choreography. So now I'd like to invite all the performers in the John Cage piece to go backstage, get their instruments, and get to their positions. We're going to do something a little bit more experimental. Is that okay with you guys? All right. So there's an amazing classical music teacher at the school named Micah Clappy, who's a cellist. And when we were talking before Chuck and I came here this week, he was telling me that he was working with the kids. It's kind of funny because I was like, well, what are you working with the kids on? Thinking he'd say something like, oh, you know, the Wedding March or Klein music. And he said he was like, stochastic composition, Merce Cunningham and John Cage. And I was like, oh, I think I better go home. I was like, I play with Evanescence and Lindsey Sterling, and it sounds really complicated. But, you know, I had kind of a very interesting childhood. My mom's a piano teacher, and I started performing on Broadway and at the Metropolitan Opera when I was 6 years old as a voice soprano. I was in Oliver and Annie and all sorts of awful musicals as a child, just kidding. And I was a show kid, it's true. And when I was 12 years old, I went to a theater camp at Yale University, and I was playing Snoopy in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown for the 9th time. Supper time, yeah, it's supper time. I had to tap dance on the doghouse. It was really embarrassing as a 12-year-old. But in the middle of the summer, John Cage came and did a theater workshop with us. And it was at the very end of his life. He died a couple years after that. And he was a very powerful music philosopher that looked at the